Hey Sagittarius, how are you doing? Happy October. I'm excited to see what's ahead for you. Happy Halloween, happy Samhain, happy Dia de los Muertos, and all that awesome stuff. So there's something really cool besides all those already pretty awesome things going on this month. Jupiter, your planetary benefactor and ruler, as a matter of fact, and the largest and most magnanimous planet in the solar system, the ruler of growth, good luck, expansion, good fortune, is moving signs. He's moving out of Libra on October 10th and into Scorpio. So for you, Sagittarius, that means that Jupiter is moving in to your 12th house, the final house, the house of endings, the house of loose ends, the house of memories, baggage, general bullshit. Jupiter brings blessings wherever he goes, as well as expansion. And when he's in this house, you can experience some transcendent spiritual experiences. You can experience blessed resolutions to old problems, things like leaving bad jobs or old relationships or, wow. Just want to show you as I said that, this guy flew out. No, we're not pulling cards for your reading yet. Right now we're just shuffling and getting your energy in there. But Spirit is listening. Spirit's like, that, what she said. So, wow, excuse me. So resolutions, this is also a really wonderful time for behind-the-scenes work, private research, and work done on yourself, introspection, journaling, things like therapy, things like, again, becoming involved with a spiritual path or community, private matters, basically, wrapping up loose ends and getting ready for an amazing aspect. So Jupiter hangs out in each sign for about a year. So he'll move in on October 10th and remain in Scorpio through November of next year, of 2018. So you've got a lot of time for that expansion, that tying up knots and preparing for, as I said, this awesome aspect. Let's just see what fell down with this awesome aspect. Wow. Yeah. So getting rid of baggage, right? I'm getting like 3 readings in this video, Sagittarius. I love it. You're preparing for the phase when Jupiter moves into your first house, the house of self, and you get this radical new beginning and expansion. So now's the time to really clear up the old stuff, to kind of go through your psychological baggage and unpack it and create piles to keep, donate, and throw away. And generally try to do a lot of throwing away, all right? Okay. So, that said, let's get to what you came here for. Tarot reading for Sagittarius for October. October for Sagittarius. October. Spirit, what does Sagittarius need to know in the month of October for their highest good? Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Sagittarius Rising. What do they need to know for their highest good? October 2017. October 2017. Wow. Whoo! Good stuff, good stuff. I promise you'll see in just a second. If you've been here before, Sag, you probably recognize that I'm doing something a little bit different. Gotten some feedback that some of you would like a little bit more of a face-to-face interaction, so I'm giving this a shot, and I am enjoying feeling like I'm talking straight to you. That is really nice. Okay, so you're gonna have to deal with like a fucking screen full of face in a few seconds. Just prepare for it. Just get ready for that. Deal with it. It's a side effect. If you're a dermatologist, feel free to chime in about my pores. Okay. Sagittarius, October. Wow. What does Sagittarius need to know this month, Spirit, for their highest good? What is the story? What are the influences around them? What are the characters? What can they expect? What most benefits them to see, to acknowledge, to to experience, to do in the month of October. October 2017. October 2017. Wow, goodness me, they're like flying out. You seeing this? Woo! Okay. Stalker card. Okay. Well, Spirit definitely had me go off on a long tangent about the 12th house for good reason, Sagittarius. October might be a little bit of a preview of what it feels like to notice what is holding you back and what is supporting you. Sometimes there's a thin line, you know, there's only one letter difference between smothering and mothering, and that's kind of a funny thing to say, but that's what Spirit is saying right now, is there's a fine line between feeling just enough, you know, structure and support to feel able to, you know, expand and grow and go forward, and then there's when it starts to become like, this is tight, this is a box, you're putting me in a box. And I feel like some of you are feeling a little bit boxed in, a little bit limited, and you're ready. You're ready to go. A lot of you are ready to go. This is unfair, right? I should show you your cards. Okay, so I'm going to show you your cards. Prepare for all that face, and we're going to jump in. All right, here we go. Pardon me, Sagittarius. We're going to get there. Or if any of you are palm readers, is really what it looks like you're getting to see right now. Okay. We're going to get there, Sagittarius. We're going to figure this out. Okay, I think we're good. You can see. Okay. So, the really overwhelming imagery, the first thing striking me here is October represents a journey. You've got to choose a path. You've got to recognize what is stagnant, like they said, and what is supportive. Luckily, you're a strong soul, Sagittarius. You are independent, gregarious, charming. All of these things are helpful to you this month. Although you have the Hermit here saying that you're taking kind of an inward journey, and he's also next to the Nine of Pentacles, which is a classic symbol for independence, kind of solitude as well. So I feel like Spirit is giving me these two next to each other for a good reason. Oh, this is where I should say, okay, Sagittarius, these are general readings, of course, as I'm sure you're aware. So I get a lot of messages, and therefore I want you to pay attention to the nuances that are whispered by your own intuition. Follow the thread that your intuition responds to and says, okay, this is what this is in reference for me, since there are, you know, quite a few Sagittarian Sun, Moon, and Rising listening. So sometimes the paths diverge, and I do my best to give as many of Spirit's messages as I can without this becoming a complete muddy mess. So, speaking of a complete muddy mess, Sagittarius, prioritization. Prioritization and getting very real with yourself about what you are passionate about, what is worth your investment. And I mean your emotional, financial, and energetic investment. You know, you're the wanderer, Sagittarius, the eternal student. You have a wonderful sense of exploration and a willingness to just learn so many things and do so much. And it's a blessing and a curse, as I'm sure, you know, your kindergarten teacher probably made your parents amply aware. Like, XYZ is very smart and wonderfully engaged with her classmates, but if only if only they would pay attention, they would excel so much. So I want to show you that in October, there's a real potential and a real temptation to scatter your energies. Many things you could do. You know, this dilettante-ish energy. Not all of these options are good, Sagittarius. You know, that may look like a castle in one of those cups from far away, but when you get closer, you see it's a sand castle, okay? You want to do a little bit of reflection this month. You need some time to yourself. That's what I'm really feeling. You need some time to yourself, some time to analyze, some time to consider what makes you happy. Now, the wonderful thing is that as much as I'm saying you need alone time, I'm also definitely feeling like you have a tight circle of friends who you can talk with, who you can go really deep with, and have fun with. So I'm definitely feeling like October is a month where maybe you do a little bit of reconnecting, Spirit is saying, especially because you're doing so much internal work and so many things, you know, by yourself. It's really important for you to have that tether, that tether back to earth, back to the social world, and not just be strictly spiritual or strictly business, you know, because again, there are several Sagittarians, and for some of you it's like, oh my God, everything is work, and for some of you everything has been school, like learning a spiritual or educational journey. I'm glad to see that following the Seven of Cups, you have this Seven of Swords card of lightening your load, of needing to leave some things behind, Sagittarius. Now, my one word of warning would be because Sagittarius, they're cutting in to say, make things easier for yourself down the road by closing doors behind you. I have never heard that phrase from Spirit before, but again, they're calling me to the fact that they really wanted me to talk a lot about the 12th house. Close things up, get closure, leave the past in the past. So for those conversations or interactions that you do this month, or you have just done, because, you know, sometimes the energies of one month can bleed into the next, depending on how, you know, maybe it took you a little longer to execute the action, or you went a little faster, so you've been waiting to see, oh, okay, yeah, things are happening. Just depends on the Sagittarius watching. But they're saying for some of you, leaving the past in the past and deciding, okay, you know what, I'm definitively done with this cup. You know, I'm done. I recognize that I no longer want these, you know, these cups. I'm cutting these out and I'm going to keep the other 5 or whatever. You know what I mean? Take 5, leave 2, and don't drive looking in the rearview mirror, or you may find that there is something waiting to bite you, okay? So Spirit is saying for some of you, and this does not apply to every Sagittarius, this is the moment where I feel like I have to say this is general Sagittarius, so don't get mad at me. For some of you, there's a temptation to wander into a new relationship before you have finished the old one. Don't be deceptive, Sagittarius, you know, which I find myself surprised to say because, you know, you're a very honest sign in general. So, of course, Spirit always talks about what is for the highest good. So they're rarely talking about, oh my gosh, it's time to switch from coffee to tea. So even if this is for, you know, 2 out of however many Sagittarians, Spirit is definitely hammering this home. So please don't be deceptive. What I'm hearing is, you know, I would say don't be deceptive because it's not the right thing to do, but also what I'm really definitely hearing is it will cause trouble for you in the future as well. So be above board. If you're going to leave something behind, leave it behind unequivocally without leaving doors open, windows open, keyholes open. There's better ahead for you. Spirit is giving me the word harvest. And harvest demands reaping, Sagittarius. Some of you are feeling a little bit disappointed in your progress. Things are going slower than you wanted to. Things aren't panning out quite the way you wanted to. You're having some anxiety about whether it's gonna turn out the way you'd like. Spirit is telling you, please don't be impatient. You are coming through this month as the Page of Swords, Sagittarius. And this is an air sign typically. But the Page of Swords, it does remind me of you, because the Page of Swords is a student, a voracious student and a truth teller. They are actually very appropriate to you because, you know, you're the sign famous for putting your foot in your mouth. Like being so honest or so, you know, unaware of the maybe like social conventions, or so uncaring, which I love about you, of the social conventions, that you just say it because it's like, well, it's true. You know, like the kid who called out the emperor with no clothes. Like that. You're not being rude. You're just being honest. You're telling it like it is. But they're telling you, the Page of Swords is also a little bit impatient. You know, as much as you want to speak your piece and say it right now and put it all out into the world immediately, your message may need some refining. Or rather, look, when I say need refining, your free will is everything, Sagittarius. This reading is always, of course, my prayer before I even turn on the camera is that everything you hear, positive, negative, good, bad, ugly, is for your highest good. And nothing I say here or see here is set in stone. It's like a weather forecast. Spirit is saying, based on your past and present decisions, here is where things appear to be heading. And if you like it, keep going the way you're going. If you don't like it, pivot. Now, having said that, like I said, your free will is everything. You can always choose to make radically different decisions, to watch this and then like laugh and turn it off and never think of it again and do your thing. And that is totally cool. But I'm hearing that you would benefit from refining your message. I'm hearing you would benefit from considering how to deliver it in the way that would cause the most growth, to maybe, you know, Spirit is kind of showing me like a marble column and chiseling away at it, like, and maybe you need to edit it, maybe it just needs a few more eyes on it, because maybe you just need a different perspective. But I'm feeling like you can save yourself some anxiety, and I'm feeling like your community will actually really appreciate this message if you spend just a little more time and hard work kind of honing it. I'm happy to report that, as difficult as it might seem some of the time, you're leaving stagnation behind, many of you, Sagittarius. And when I say that it's not easy, I mean that for some of you, you have really invested a lot of hope and a lot of effort and love into something, and you find yourself having to walk away and go on this new journey just to live, just to be. You won't be content where you are, is what I'm hearing. So a lot of you feel very stagnant where you are. And ready for growth, ready for new things, ready to cut ties. Like this is beautiful. Okay, well I want to look at you again, Sagittarius. I hope you don't mind. Okay, let's do this. Dude, here comes all the face. Ooh, and a kitty in the background. Hey, kitty. Okay. So they're showing me this really beautiful image of cutting the ropes. I don't think they cut them actually, but this is what they were showing me. Cutting the ropes on a hot air balloon and like setting it free. I feel many of you are deciding to kind of cut yourself loose from an extremely limiting situation and even limiting beliefs. Some of you, they are actually using the word depression, the word anxiety, and this is known as the nightmare card. This is the card of obsessive, repetitive, scary and anxious thoughts, worrying about the results of things, and Spirit is saying wanting to be there before you get there. Hi, Derpy. Cameo by Derpy. This is the weirdest thing, Sagittarius. She loves my perfume. She's like gonna try to like, she's all about it. Look at her, she's like entranced. I know, it smells good. Do you just want me for my scent? feel used, Derpy. Do not walk on the cards. Cats. I love you. Hey, move. Okay. There is creative thinking and then there's burdensome thinking. You want to avoid analysis paralysis, racing and circular thoughts. There's just something that many of you are done thinking about. You're cutting ties, you're moving on, you're honing your craft. October says edit. You know what I mean? October says enhance what you already have. Hi, kitty. Thank you. Kitty kisses. I think she's just like a camera hog. That might be what this is. She was like, oh, did you turn the camera up? Can I? I know. Sorry, Sagittarius. I want to show you this guy that popped up while we were shuffling for you. I don't know how clearly it's going to come through on camera, but the figure that is turned away from the 8 stacked up stagnant cups has a lotus flower in his hand. And the significance of the lotus flower is that it grows out of the mud. It grows out of stagnation. You know, you would walk by a swamp where the lotus flowers hadn't bloomed yet and be like, ugh, what a mess. Like, what a, you know, just, it's a bog. But then all of a sudden, sort of miraculously, these amazing multi-flowering pink flowers appear up out of, you know, feet and feet and feet of disgusting, stagnant, muddy water. And so is your spirit, Sagittarius. Spirit is drawing my attention to this card and the fact that if you look at the painting, there's a lotus flower pouring out water in his vision of how things should be. And then the disappointing reality of, you know, being a human and everything not always going completely according to our vision. But the other important thing about this card is that, you know, God, spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, has a much bigger and better imagination than we do and can bestow blessings that we can't predict. Many of you have been waiting to get your cups refilled and it feels like they've been empty or stagnant for too long, and I feel like October is bringing you an opportunity. It's like go within to go without, meaning go within to take that amazing action to create the results that you want. Hi. Oh no. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Sagittarius. My kitty's like coughing. You alright? Oh god. Is this why you came up here? Did you want to do this on camera? Babe. Oh. You alright? You alright? This is what it's like, Sag. This is my glamorous life. Yeah? You done? You good? You feel like you made your appearance? Good, good. Alright. Now she wants to knock my mug down. That's when you go. Okay. Alright. I love you, Sagittarius. Thank you for bearing with me. Again, I really feel like appropriate that we talked about your 12th house. A lot of you are moving out of an old phase and into a new one. And inevitably, there is some pain in the transition. There is, you know, even when you know that it's right, it doesn't make it easy. But Spirit is saying you're closer than you think. You're closer than you think to your goal. Be adaptable. Be adaptable. Make the change. Invest in yourself. Refine your message. So now I want to look at the action steps that Spirit wants to give you to make the most of this month. For those of you Sagittarians who haven't been here before, this is just a quick 5-card reading. to get a little bit more focus on what you can do, the actions you can actually take to make the most of the month. So let's see, Spirit. Can we get a theme for Sagittarius for the month of October? A card to represent what they most need to know, do, understand, or embody for their highest good this month. For their highest good, Sagittarius in October. Oh dear. Alright. Old Temptations. I'm going to pull a prescription card for this because I always do. But Sagittarius, I want to give you, again, in case you haven't been here before, the devil is not evil. This isn't anything to be scared of in that sense. He's not Satan. There doesn't exist such a character in the Tarot. Notice the two humans chained at his feet with their fiery tails. Don't stay so long in a personal hell, Sagittarius, that you actually start to adapt to the environment that you're living in, which is really funny because Spirit, gave me the phrase be adaptable before we even told the devil. But be adaptable meaning be willing to step away from things that feel limiting, things that feel oppressive, institutions, people, addictions, temptations, habits. I want you to notice that there are chains around these people's neck. But if you take more than just one glance, you can see they're very loose. And these people could at any time just reach up and take this thing right off and walk away. But the threat and the fear, the belief that they're trapped there is enough to keep them there. Not you, Sagittarius. You're the sign of faith. You're the sign of enlightenment and knowledge. It's the total antidote to the devil. So let's see. What does Sagittarius need to know about this devil, this temptation to fall back into old habits, this temptation to remain unconscious, to stay in stagnation? What do they need to know about this devil? Where can this go for them? Wow. The Emperor. Time to take control, Sag. You had that card, that Nine of Pentacles, the lady in her garden surrounded by pentacles saying, be your own boss and be independent. The Emperor is like the higher octave of that card. It is like, get disciplined, set yourself a regimen. If you've got this message to share, Page of Swords, then maybe you need to say to yourself, for an hour a day, I sit at the computer, and no matter if I have an idea or a plan or not, I sit there and I write or I edit. Like, this is my time for this, my project. Like, this is when I do it. This is my routine. I'm setting this up. I want this. I'm going to be my own parent, my own authority figure, and demand of myself the best of myself. Discipline, order. That is your antidote for the devil. Just want you to notice the similarity in the images. It's like, which way do you want to do it? Do you want to be a slave to your habits, or do you want, to make your habits your slave and make them work for you? Make the wise choice, Sagittarius. Okay. So now let's look at your money, your resources, your health, the earthly realm. What does Sagittarius need to know in October? What can they do, Spirit, to enjoy their best life, to get the best results for their highest good, Sagittarius, in October? You've been working hard, Sagittarius. Sometimes you need to, this is what Spirit is saying, sometimes you need to look up from all the hard work and stop and stand back and take the long view. Look at what you have harvested and ask yourself if it's worth the hard work and if the work has been yielding what you want. Or if you look at it and you go, wait a minute, I thought I was growing bananas. What are these peaches? What is this? Like, this is not what I needed. And then you rethink it. So for many of you, it's like, stop, rethink your plan. Take a breather, have a planning session, then come back at this, okay? Don't be tempted to just like, but I gotta go. I gotta go. So I'll just keep going. You know what I mean? Like, stop, plan, reorient yourself, and you will have much better results. That's what they're saying. Okay? Very similar to the Emperor. Plan. Have a routine. Get yourself a regiment. Get yourself in order. Okay, so now let's look at what is going on in the mental realm for Sagittarius. What are you speaking about, thinking about, hearing about? What's going on in the air realm, the mental sphere for Sagittarius? Same card, different deck. The Nine of Swords, Nightmare card, the card of like lacking sleep, the card of anxiety, the card of I've got way too much on my mind, like so much so that my mind kind of can't stop racing. This is why you need to stop and plan. This is just underlining that you need to stop and get things in order so that way you don't have to, you know, sit there at night and pull out your hair about what am I going to do, what am I going to do, because you know, like, yeah, I know, this is you talking to yourself, okay, Sagittarius, like, I know, it's not all going to happen at once, it's going to take a while, but if I follow these steps that I laid out myself when I was in a good frame of mind, where I was fed, where I was, slept well, relaxed, I took myself out and like to the library where it's quiet, or I went and got myself a fucking $5 coffee to make it worth it, and I'm sitting down and I'm having my muffin and I am attacking this plan because I'm done feeling like this. I'm done feeling like just free-floating anxiety. I'm going to take control and I'm going to decide and I'm going to lay out the path for myself so I can stop worrying about what that path looks like. Stop and plan. Breathe, Sagittarius. For those of you that are into or even just interested in meditation, that will really benefit you. You know what I mean? Getting a handle on those thoughts that just kind of bubble up out of nowhere. They don't bubble up out of nowhere. They bubble up from somewhere. And the more you can get familiar with which part of your shadow, your unconscious, those aspects of you that you don't want to look at, the more that you can look at them without shame and without judgment, the better you can do. If you know that you've been procrastinating, just tell yourself, I know I've been procrastinating. You know what? I've been procrastinating. I've been shooting myself in the foot. I've been sabotaging myself. I need to lay out this plan and change things. Then do so. Acknowledging it is the only thing that can set you free from it. That's the message of the devil. It's an invitation to greater power and greater freedom, so it's nothing to be scared of. Wow. Okay, so a card for the fiery aspect of your life, your element, what is charging you up, what is activating you, lighting a fire underneath you. A lot of you are ready to fight for what you want, and I love seeing this. I love seeing it, especially after like the card of anxiety is like, hell no, you know what? I can take it all on. Because you've got the higher ground, Sagittarius. You are higher minded than many of the people around you. You know what you're doing, you know what you want, you can take this on. It will be hard. Feelings and feelings can get hurt. There could even be a couple of you may find that you have to cut somebody off this month. You may find, what Spirit just said is that some people don't support your journey. And I'm not telling you need to go tell them, piss off and never talk to me again. But there may be some people with whom there's an unhealthy association that you need to cut out. These are general readings again, Sagittarius. If you ever want to get personal, my shop is linked